In a world dominated by consumerism, where advertisements yell at us to buy the next best thing, it's easy to fall into the trap of associating happiness with material possessions. However, no matter how much we collect, everything vanishes with time. They break, go out of style, and eventually become obsolete. However, moments of joy shared with loved ones, trips under the open sky, and quiet, poignant recollections remain with us. Think about your most treasured memories. Are they about the most recent phone you bought, or the type of apparel you wore? Likely not. They are about the people you were with, the feelings you experienced, and the authentic life you lived. Moments shape our soul. They give us a sense of connection, growth, surprise, and delight that no other thing can match. To truly live, we must change from consumerism to purpose. We must be present, intentional, and thankful, since in the end, what we own does not define us. It will be the memories we made, the love we shared, and the stories we told. Physical things deteriorate with time. Phones become obsolete, clothes wear out, and cars lose their value. However, events like as watching a sunrise with someone you care about or laughing so hard your stomach hurts will remain in your heart forever. Investing in meaningful experiences provides a lifetime benefit. Relationships, emotions, and shared human experiences bring long-term delight. But purchasing items provides just temporary pleasure. A meaningful chat, a long walk with a friend, or a spontaneous trip might benefit us far more than any pricey item. Your identity is determined not by what you own, but by what you have experienced. Moments of difficulty, joy, travel, heartache, and development, they shape your personality, foster your ideals, and provide wisdom. Experiences nourish you from within. Prioritizing moments over possessions teaches us to slow down and cherish a life, a family meal, a child's first step, or a rainy day walk. These easy examples show how to be present and express gratitude. Unlike physical objects, they make us feel alive. Chasing possessions leads to clutter, not only in our homes, but also in our minds. When we let go of our material possessions, we make room for clarity, purpose, and peace. A life filled with moments rather than objects appears lighter, freer, and more intentional. People will forget what we owned when we die. They will remember how we made them feel, the stories we shared, and the time we spent together. The actual legacy we leave behind is found in the memories we create, not in the things we accumulate. We live in a period when ownership is valued. We are constantly told that the next big thing, the newest gadget, the most costly brand, or the most popular piece of furniture would make us happier, more successful, and more fulfilled. However, each item we buy has an expiration date. The sheen of a new car fades. The thrill of the latest phone wears off, and even the most expensive clothes go out of style. These things may provide us a temporary sense of satisfaction. As time passes, the enthusiasm evaporates, and we're left looking for the next update, caught in an endless loop of fleeting pleasure. In contrast, the memories we create are timeless treasures. They do not diminish in value with age, rather they become more important. Think about your childhood. Do you have specific memories of your toys, or do you recall the joy of family gatherings, vacations, birthdays, or late-night conversations with people who truly mattered? These are the experiences that leave an emotional mark on our hearts. We carry with us our shared experiences, joy, sadness, accomplishments, and even the quiet moments in between. These memories are deeply personal and irreplaceable. Nobody else can buy, replicate, or take them from us. Unlike objects, they don't need closet space or frequent upkeep to function. They only require presence, awareness, and a desire to fully engage with life. They become our tale, our legacy, the invisible link connecting our past and present. Prioritizing moments over things results in a richer, more meaningful life, because memories survive long after the material possessions have been broken, sold, or abandoned. In a consumer-driven world, it's easy to imagine that happiness comes from having more. more clothes, more technology, more luxury, and more prestige marketing make us believe that a better version of ourselves is just a purchase away, but time and experience have shown otherwise. Otherwise, the pleasure we get from our purchases is sometimes transient. A new phone, a fancy bag, or an expensive pair of shoes may amaze us for a few days or weeks, but their lure fades soon. We adapt, grow, become used to the item, and start looking for the next thing. This goal perpetuates a never-ending cycle of consumption, frequently leaving us emotionally depleted and spiritually miserable. Human connection, on the other hand, produces a sort of pleasure that is both profound and spiritual. A heated conversation with a loved one, an impromptu outing with friends, or a shared meal full of laughs. These encounters have far-reaching consequences for us. They satisfy emotional needs that material items would never meet. Empathy, humor, vulnerability, and understanding are all born of connection, and they offer a thrill that nothing else can compare. When we connect with others, we are seen, heard, and valued for who we are, not what we own. That type of fulfillment builds confidence, alleviates loneliness, and improves mental and emotional health. The warmth of a hug, the comfort of a nice remark, or the thrill of a shared adventure all create relationships that improve our lives far more than money can. Furthermore, relationship holds significance in life. The happiest events in our lives typically involve people, whether it's celebrating a victory, overcoming adversity, or simply being there in silence. These shared experiences build trust, resilience, and emotional richness. They remind us that we are not alone in this world and that our lives are inextricably linked in beautiful, meaningful ways. Finally, satisfaction obtained from connection is long-lasting, since it is based on truth, not the fleeting glow of a purchase, but the constant light of love, presence, and human connection. Who we are at our core is determined not by what we own, but by the life we've lived, the experiences we've had, the places we've been, and the challenges we've faced. Material possessions may bring temporary comfort or a sense of status, but they do not aid in our personal development. They sit calmly in our surroundings, but experiences shape our thoughts, personalities, and worldviews. Every interaction, whether happy, negative, or somewhere in between, has an impact on us. A journey to a foreign country teaches us to appreciate different cultures and beliefs. A moment of melancholy teaches us about the power of our emotional resilience. Even seemingly simple experiences, such as spending time outside or volunteering for a cause, can result in profound self-discovery and connection. These experiences shape our identity, influencing how we perceive the world and interact with others. More importantly, encounters frequently take us out of our comfort zones. They motivate us to adapt, progress, and overcome fear. Walking on stage to deliver a speech, going on a solo trip, or doing something completely new may be intimidating at first, but they eventually equip us with confidence, self-awareness, and stories that define who we are. These aren't just transient events. They become watershed moments that influence who we become. Our identity is also deeply ingrained in our emotional memories. While we may forget what we bought 5 years ago, we remember how we felt at a family gathering, a graduation, a road trip with friends, or a solitary evening viewing the stars. These interactions offer emotional depth and clarity, helping us understand our values, desires, and life's purpose. Unlike possessions, which may be stolen, destroyed, or lost, experiences give us lifelong lessons and progress, right? They empower us to share our stories, connect with others, and live authentically. Finally, our experiences define us, not our stuff, because they have tested, inspired, transformed, and revealed who we truly are. In today's fast-pacing environment where distractions abound and multitasking is the norm, being totally present has become rare. We frequently rush through our days, caught between deadlines and notifications, not noticing the beauty that surrounds us. However, when we prioritize capturing meaningful moments over amassing possessions, we start to slow down. We start to notice. We learn to be present in the moment, not only physically, but also emotionally and mentally. Unlike everyday goods, they necessitate our full attention. You can't recreate a sunset or your child's giggle in real time. You must be entirely absorbed to truly enjoy it. These encounters bring us into the present moment, prompting us to engage with our sensations, emotions, and those around us, compared to those around us. When we take the time to completely experience a hug, listen to a loved one, speak or marvel at a natural wonder, we become aware of the richness of life that no product can replicate. This acute concentration on the current moment naturally fosters thanks. We learn to notice small, delightful subtleties that we might otherwise overlook, such as the warmth of a morning coffee, a stranger's smile, the sound of the wind rustling the leaves, or the joy of being with someone we know. These are the actual pearls, subtle yet powerful reminders that life is a gift. Moments of gratitude provide long-lasting and genuine satisfaction. When we spend time pursuing things, we frequently become dissatisfied and crave more. However, investing in experiences reveals how much we already have. We stop taking the little things for granted. Dinners with family become more than just a routine. It becomes a memory in the making. A walk in the park becomes more than just exercise. It becomes a space to reflect and connect. Furthermore, moments are meaningful even if they are not perfect. Some of our most cherished memories are spontaneous, folly, or even disorganized, yet they remain vivid because we were present. That kind of presence strengthens emotional bonds, raises consciousness, and reminds us to appreciate what we have while we still can. Learning to live in the now enables us to develop a deeper understanding of what truly matters. More matters. We learn to see life as a series of experiences, each with its own beauty and lesson. In the pursuit of having more clothes, technology, furniture, and decorations, we create a life full of meaning, appreciation, and joy rather than chaos. We unknowingly add clutter to our lives. Not only does physical clutter block our homes and shelves, but mental and emotional clutter weighs us down. Every item we bring into our home requires attention, maintenance, organization, and on sometimes emotional attachment. The more we accumulate, the more distracted we are by the chaos of life, and the further we move from what truly counts. However, we can shift our attention from collecting items to collecting experiences. We begin to simplify, getting rid of the extraneous. This provides not just physical space, but also mental clarity by eliminating the distractions around us. Our minds have more room to breathe, think clearly, and concentrate on what actually brings us joy. A decluttered surroundings leads to a decluttered mind, which promotes serenity and focus. Living with less doesn't mean depriving ourselves. On the contrary, it requires being deliberate about what we allow into our lives. It requires analyzing if a new purchase will add value or if it is simply a quick fix for a deeper emotional need. It means accepting that we don't have to own something to enjoy it, and that the best things in life aren't always material. Unlike things, they do not require storage or upkeep. They do not get old or become irrelevant. Instead, they expand within us, adding meaning to our past, depth, and present. When we value experiences such as travel, learning, growth, and sharing, we enrich our lives with memories, stories, and inner richness, helping us to be more grounded in who we are rather than what we have. And with the new money certainty, our priorities shift. We begin to devote time and energy in relationships, passions, and activities that align with our values. We begin to see that fulfillment does not come from having a large closet or an affluent lifestyle, but rather from living a life that feels light, free, and meaningful. By letting go of the unnecessary, we make room for what is truly important: connection, creativity, introspection, and personal growth. When our time on earth comes to an end, no one will remember the cost of our goods or the size of our mansions. It will be the love we shared, the time we spent together, and the impact we had on the lives of others. Legacy is not built on luxury. It is founded on the intangible moments that moved others, the relationships we built, and the authenticity with which we lived. While items can be enticing for a while, our character, kindness, and the experiences we create are what truly last. Consider the people you admire the most: a grandmother, a teacher, a mentor, or a good friend. What made them special? Most likely it was how they made you feel, not what they had. It was the warmth of their embrace, the wisdom in their words, and the time they took to listen, understand, and simply be present. These are the experiences that shape memories and make a lasting impression on the soul. When we prioritize financial success as the foundation of our work, we risk ensuring our legacy on shaky ground. Wealth, assets, and position all have the capacity to vanish. However, how we treat others with compassion, respect, and love is remembered long after we are gone. Others' stories about us at the conclusion of our lives will center on our presence, not our possessions, but how we made them laugh, helped them in times of need, celebrated their triumph, and walked alongside them through their trials. Living a life that prioritizes experiences above possessions allows us to pass on a new type of inheritance, one built on wisdom, empathy, and genuine connection. We teach people, particularly the next generation, that happiness comes from the lives we touch, not the goods we buy. And we model a style of life that is rich in goodness rather than wealth. Our legacy becomes a collection of memories that we have shared with others, stories about how we showed up, forgave, grew, and loved unconditionally. These are the things that last through time. They are told at family gatherings, remembered through images, and experienced during quiet periods of meditation. This form of wealth cannot be stolen or exhausted. It's the kind that stays in the hearts of others. In the larger story of existence, the square footage of our homes and the brand names in our closets do not correctly reflect our true worth. It is measured by the memories we create, the people we inspire, and the values we leave behind. Luxury may dazzle the eyes, but love penetrates the soul. It's love, not luxury, that is preserved in memory, in stories passed down through generations, in the serene solace that comes when someone remembers us long after we've died. The truth is that emotional wealth, unlike actual wealth, cannot be inherited. Our ideas, kindness, and knowledge that affect the lives of others long after we are no longer surrounded by opulent lifestyles may make headlines. But a life lived with generosity, humility, and compassion leaves a legacy that speaks quietly but clearly. Nobody mentions how much our automobile cost in their eulogy. They remember how we made them feel. Were we present when it mattered? Have we taken time to listen? Did we arrive while nobody else did? Some of history's greatest legacies were left by those who possessed little but gave everything they had: time, words, strength, and hearts. These people are remembered not for their wealth, but for the memories they created: comforting a child, mentoring a lost friend, and fighting for justice. Or simply making someone feel seen in a world where people regularly forget their identities are recorded in history, not because they had everything, but because they shared something truly valuable. When we live in the now, prioritizing presence over possessions, we not only enrich our lives, but also shape the story others will someday talk about us. Each shared laugh, every act of compassion, every time we held someone's hand through a difficult period becomes a thread in the fabric of our legacy. And unlike wealth, which fades with fashion and depreciates over time, love becomes more important as it is given, even via small everyday actions. A heartfelt letter is a long-standing practice. A lovingly cooked meal carries considerably more emotional weight than any fancy thing ever could. People hold on to these things when they miss us. These are the things that matter. Choosing to value moments over possessions allows us to live a life filled with deep relationships and emotional depth. It indicates that we emphasize people over things, purpose over prestige. And in doing so, we leave not only memories, but also a legacy of love. A legacy that outlasts any luxury and will continue to grow in significance long after we die. In the end, life is measured not by our possessions, but by the memories we create, the people we love, and the legacy we leave. When we choose to treasure moments over possessions, we begin to live with greater purpose, presence, and passion. We free ourselves from the burden of consumerism and open our hearts to what truly matters: connection, development, and meaning. The most beautiful things in life cannot be bought or kept. They are the moments in life that we actually feel, remember, and cherish. So choose to live a life that nourishes your spirit rather than just yourself. Since at the end of the day, what we leave behind isn't important. Our true story unfolds through love, memories, and moments.